Welcome to the Merchant Corner, brought to you by
MTG Dungeon Northwest.
Fudge, yeah. All right. So what are we talking about today? This is the Merchant Corner series.
Yes.
What's that all about? Tell me about that.
So we are going to have a video series talking about what we've learned about the MTG Dungeon Northwest TCG player business. Explain to you guys what we've learned, things to look out for if you're looking to start your own TCG player store, and some nice little adventures and information that we've learned along the way.
Right on. Yeah. Quick synopsis of our path so far has been: we dove headfirst into this thing. We started a business. We closed the business, and we are still operating the TCG player portal.
Yes.
That's where we're at. We'll talk a lot in detail over the course of the Merchant Corner about the intricacies of our decisions, like bacon. Anyway.
I think the best place to start from is, why did we start MTG Dungeon Northwest, Ben?
Money, money, money. No, I'm kidding. All right. So we really like Magic. We are both veterans of the game. We have been playing for 10 plus years, easy.
Oh, God.
Both of us. We are old.
We are.
There's sometimes you get to a point with something where you feel like things are becoming stagnant and want to do something a little bit different. So we thought that trying the business side of Magic would be interesting and fun and different. So we started MTG Dungeon Northwest using the TCGplayer.com hub, as I like to call it, a hub, because it's a hub, a collection of storefronts, basically.
Yes.
So, I say we like Magic. I moved to our local area roughly 7 years ago, and shortly after that, I met Warden through playing Magic. We've seen how our community has evolved and grown. Well, since I've been here, I don't know what it was in the before time, but
back when the rocks were soft.
Right? Anyway, I don't remember that part, but since I've been here, obviously we both have seen what has happened to the community locally through the players and the business side, and we wanted to see more. How we could help some of our local community is through some of the goals that we had in mind. What kind of goals did we have when we started this business?
So we didn't have any grandiose goals. We weren't thinking we were going to be the next Channel Fireball, Star City Games, Card Kingdom.
Yeah, definitely not.
We were like, hey, let's start this online card shop. If it does well enough over a period of time, there's a possibility that we could open our own brick and mortar store, which I think that was our biggest quote unquote goal. Was, hey, if we get to this point, we can open our own brick and mortar store and do something that we both enjoy. It was one of those we'll cross that bridge if we get there. I don't think we really had a set goal of opening a brick and mortar store. It was one of those, hey, along this path, if we get to that bridge, we're going to cross it.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's fair to say we did not have a solid business plan when we decided to start this adventure. It's just wasn't there. Like I said earlier, we wanted to do something new and different, and we were willing to dive headfirst with the capital that we had.
Yes. So obviously a big thing in starting a business is figuring out what the role that each of us is going to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
for sure.
If you want to go ahead and take that.
Yeah, so it was really important for us to bake cinnamon rolls every morning with a nice cup of coffee so we could throw it in each other's faces and argue about what the best solution is for our problems.
Now he says we bake cinnamon rolls. He bakes cinnamon rolls. I just sat on the couch the whole time.
Yes, while I threw coffee at him for sitting on the couch. Mm-hmm.
Turnabout fair play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. To which he says, nope. Anyway, no. So some of our roles, we both wanted to figure out what all of the different aspects of running a TCG player hub storefront would require. We wanted to figure all of that out, and the things that were really important, they do list on the website some really important topics to cover, which we glanced over. So things like shipping and recommendations and tips on grading. There are some videos out there made by TCG Player to help you figure out grading, which I definitely used. And also just my experience with dealing with cards for over a decade. Figuring out what is and isn't near mint, which we still had to kind of figure as we went along. We'll get into that in different videos.
Yes.
But grading and shipping. Let's see. We had a finance aspect, which I would say is fair to say that Warden was a lot more hands-on with than I was. We had different aspects such as transportation to events that we still wanted to participate in, which I took care of.
Also, transporting or going places to pick up collections. We had to do that quite a few times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because at the time we were both fulfilling the role of being the face of our business locally. So we were both scouting out collections to purchase and talking to our local players. I eventually personally fell out of Magic locally because of a job opportunity that I wanted to pursue, and I eventually became a little bit more hands off from that, but we'll talk about that more later.
Yep.
Scouting out for collections was definitely something that was a big deal because we needed stuff to sell to people,
especially just starting out.
Yeah,
like that's honestly
we only had so much extra stock ourselves that we were willing to part with at the time. So as far as obtaining gear, that was also something else that Warden was took upon himself to do, getting things like our first camera setup, our first streaming setup at our LGS, a local game store.
Yep.
Things like that. We both took time to set up our stage for recording Magic games for
Yes.
content, so you guys could enjoy our commentary and the games that we play locally here. So about acquiring our first collection. How do you say that? How do you think that went?
So, actually acquiring our first collection, I think acquiring our first collection actually went hand in hand with us deciding to start MTG Dungeon Northwest. We kind of talked about like, hey, maybe doing this, and a local player was parting out part of his collection, and we're like, hey, this would probably be, like, if we're gonna do this would probably be a really good place to start.
Mm-hmm.
So we both, I said, had a little bit of extra money, so we're like, okay, cool, we'll jump in on this. So we bought the first collection for $200, and after some initial learning mistakes, we'll call them those, and fees and whatnot, we ended up making $15. So we ended up getting $215 for a collection bought for $200.
Now, you don't have to know much about business to know that a $200 investment for a $15 profit is not something that you generally want in your profit margins.
Or brag about.
Right. It's nothing special.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of time and effort for very little return.
And Ben is also going to talk about one of the reasons why that happened.
Oh, I am.
You are.
Nice. Okay, so TCG Player has seller levels. And there's seller level 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can become a direct seller. And people who get approved for direct seller status, they own brick and mortar stores. They have a physical location. They have an address to associate with their storefront on TCG Player. We're just starting out. We're seller level 1, which has the restriction of a minimum of $5 for shipping.
At the time. I believe they've changed that.
Yeah, this is like mid 2018.
Yes.
So what we decided to do was to list cards. Or our thought process, we wanted to be competitive with the market. So we wanted to list cards at a price that was appealing, that took into consideration shipping. So shipping was $5, so we would list a card for $5 less to accommodate for that $5 shipping. The biggest problem with that, the huge oversight that we made, was that if somebody bought more than one card, they would get a tremendous deal. So if we listed 2 cards at $6, there are 2 cards that were worth $6, we would list them at $1 and then charge $5 shipping. So as you can see, that's a bad time.
They pay $7 and get $12 of value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was something really silly that we did. As we progressed through the seller levels, we were able to list cards that were less valuable because our shipping restrictions went down, which we'll cover more in detail in future Merchant Corners.
Yes. I said this is a nice video series for those of you who are interested in how we started, or if you're looking to possibly start a TCG player store. You're going to learn a lot of tips from us from the mistakes that we made, so you don't hopefully do them.
Yes, so this is our introduction of our first experience on the job. Thanks for tuning in to our first episode of the Merchant's Corner, where we decided to talk to you guys about our business, MTG Dungeon Northwest, where we talked about why we started,
Our goals,
the roles as we flesh them out,
our first collection purchase,
and what we've learned from our first collection purchase and starting the business. All right, so if you have any questions for us about what we talked about in this video, just leave any questions in the comments below and we will get back to you. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you later.